Jackson never believed in miracles until the night he stood on a freezing bridge, ready to end everything, and a stranger changed his fate with just 7 words. Jackson Miller grew up in a small town outside Columbus, Ohio. From the outside, he looked like someone who had everything under control. He had a steady job at a local hardware store, a mother who loved him, and a younger sister, Emily, who believed he was the strongest person alive. But inside, Jackson carried years of quietly stacked failures, dreams he never chased, opportunities he let slip, and the belief that he wasn't good enough for anything more than survival. His father had left when he was 9. Jackson remembered the slam of the door, the silence afterward, and his mother crying over the kitchen sink. He promised himself he would become the kind of man who stayed. But life didn't work out the way he imagined. His college plans collapsed when Emily fell sick, and he worked 2 jobs to help pay medical bills. Everything he earned disappeared quickly, like water through fingers. By 27, Jackson felt tired. Tired of struggling, tired of failing, tired of pretending he was okay. The breaking point came the night he got fired. Business was slow, and the owner let him go with a quiet apology. Jackson walked out into the cold, carrying the weight of years on his shoulders. With no job, no savings, and no sense of direction, he wandered until he reached the old bridge outside town. The river below was black and silent. Jackson leaned on the rail, tears sliding down his face. He whispered, "I tried, I really tried." And for the first time, he felt completely empty. Then a voice behind him said, "It's not your time." Jackson turned and saw an older man, grey beard, worn jacket, kind eyes. The stranger didn't look shocked or scared. He just looked understanding. "My name's Robert," he said softly. "And 7 years ago, I stood exactly where you're standing." Jackson didn't speak. Robert stepped closer. "The world doesn't need your perfection. It needs your story. Someone out there is waiting for you to survive, so they can believe they can too." Those 7 words hit Jackson like electricity. Someone out there is waiting for you. Something inside him cracked open. Fear, pain, guilt, but also a tiny spark he thought he'd lost. Hope. Robert sat with him on the cold concrete, talking for an hour about mistakes, recovery, fixing life piece by piece, and forgiving yourself for being human. Before leaving, he pressed a business card into Jackson's hand. "Come see me tomorrow. I run a small mechanic shop. I need someone who doesn't quit easily." Jackson didn't sleep that night, but he also didn't return to the bridge. The next morning, he walked into Robert's shop. The job wasn't glamorous. Oil changes, old engines, rusty tools. But for the first time in years, Jackson felt useful. Robert taught him more than machines. He taught him discipline, patience, and the belief that progress is built from small steps, not giant leaps. Months passed. Jackson rebuilt his confidence piece by piece. He saved money, repaired his relationship with his mother, and helped Emily with her college applications. Every night he reminded himself of the stranger on the bridge who chose to stop and care. 2 years later, Jackson opened his own small garage, Miller's Honest Repairs. He hired 2 employees who were struggling just like he once did. He told them the same words Robert had told him. And he never forgot the bridge, the cold, or the moment he almost gave up. But he also never forgot that miracles sometimes look like ordinary people choosing kindness at the exact right moment. His life didn't become meaningful, and that was enough. Years turned into seasons. Jackson learned to measure progress, not by headlines, but by the quiet evidence of daily choices. Showing up when it was easier to sleep in, answering his mother's calls, refusing to let a mistake define the whole day. He painted the shop's front himself one summer, hands blistered, and felt proud of honest work. He kept a small notebook where he wrote 3 things he was grateful for each night. The list grew into a map of steady hope. He volunteered at the community center on Saturdays, teaching teens basic car care and the language of work. "Fix one thing right today," he told them, "and tomorrow you'll have reason to fix another." He started a small scholarship for students with medical debt, naming it after his sister Emily. Years later, he stood at the same bridge and said to a teen on the rail, "It's not your time," then handed his worn business card. The boy put it in his pocket. Jackson learned that small acts of care, one warm meal, one honest hour, 7 kind words, become the architecture of a new future. He never stopped grieving what was lost, but he learned to meet fear with action and to be the person who stops.